Okay, excited to introduce and congratulate Evan on his new deal. It's well-deserved from his first game in this league. He's had a tremendous impact on this club, on this city, and so really proud that this day has come where he rightfully gets his extension. We've got a lot of trust in him. You know, a lot of my gut as games come to a close. I've got tremendous faith in Evan, and as you can see from the moments we've relied on him to close out games for us, for opportunities within games from long range. He's got the leg, he's got the confidence, he's got the ability, and he's only going to continue to get better and better. I truly believe his best days are ahead, even though we've already had some best days also. So I'll leave you guys to Evan here, and again, congratulations to him.
Thank you.
Evan, when we talked to you last week, you seemed kind of at peace with the process. Did you feel confident that this would get done?
Yeah, I had a good feeling that eventually something was going to get done. It was trending that way, but like I said last week, I was like, if it didn't get done, I was kind of at peace with it anyways. But I knew where it was trending, and I'm just excited that it's finished, it's done now, and we can just kind of relax and go have fun.
What was your reaction when you found out that it was done?
I mean, I was excited. I think a lot of people will be excited to find out that you have some stability and just some comfort in knowing where you're going to be for the foreseeable future. And it just gives, myself and I guess some guys like some certain level of confidence just rolling into the season, knowing that, this is where I'm going to be. So we're just going to have fun and just win games.
What is it about this city, this atmosphere that has made you want to be here long term?
Yeah, I think I expressed, even outside of the stadium, like we have created such a good community through church, through friends that we've just met at restaurants, here and there. But it's just a great city to be a part of and to be in. Like I said, I've got a lot of friends outside of the stadium, outside of the team, and so just to know that we're going to be here and get to enjoy those people is really exciting.
Why was it important to you to sign a 3-year deal?
I think it's just as kickers, as football players, our time's limited. And so I think you just have the opportunity to hit your next contract at an earlier age. And so just trying to get as many in as possible.
Feels like ever since the Bengals drafted you, kickers have been going earlier and earlier in the draft. Taking a little pride in that?
No, some people do say it might have been because of their rookie year, but you never know. I think kickers are getting better and better in college and high school and developing earlier, and so I think it's a trend of people being more prepared coming out of college, and maybe I think in the NFL now, kickers are becoming more consistent, longer range, and so I think people are putting more of an importance on kickers now.
How long can the range get? I mean, how deep do you feel comfortable with right now? You have another year under your belt.
Yeah, I think we've seen, right? I mean, Cowboys, Brandon Aubrey this past week hit a 66 like it's nothing. I firmly believe now, like, if we attempt a field goal on our side of the field, I feel like we're expected to make it. And that's not how it's always been. Usually with the 50-plus yarders, you kind of go out there free will, and if you make it, you make it. If you don't, nobody expects you to make it. So, or not expect you to make it, but kind of brush it off. But now it's kind of seeming like if it's anything inside 65 yards, we're almost expected to make it. And, I mean, rightfully so. I think everybody's getting a lot better, and I think the range is going to keep going. I hit like a 68-yarder training with a live operation in like July. So I don't think that's out of the question with perfect conditions.
You think you hit a 68-yarder in perfect conditions?
I think so. I don't think it's out of the question.
When the news started to circulate about your new contract, one of the stats that continuously gets thrown around with your name is your perfect field goal attempts record in the playoffs. What is it about the playoffs and the big moment that you thrive in?
Yeah, it's just, we talk about it here is like every point is important in the playoffs. No matter how you get it, you want to make sure you get every point possible. And so I feel like for the playoffs, maybe towards the couple last weeks of the regular season, you're kind of worn down, tired, long season. But when playoffs come around, you get a new fire, I feel like. And so you're excited for those games. Here we go. And I don't know, it's just a little bit of a different feeling for playoffs because it's right, win or go home. And so we're out there just probably ultra focused for those games.
Would you want to talk, Zach, if the opportunity comes up to potentially set the NFL, I mean, that would be the NFL record, would you talk him into maybe letting you out there for that? Give that a go?
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to attempt it. We've had a couple opportunities, I think, in the preseason that we passed up on. But I think the one that I could have in the Bucs game, we ended up getting a first down, setting with the 58. And then the other one, I think it was like 4th and 1 in the last game where it was like a 63-yarder or something. But no, I would love to attempt one, just kind of see how it is, get out there and wail away at one.
You have gone through a few holders, during the course of your career. A lot of kickers can't handle that. What's the secret sauce to handling, these different holders?
Yeah, I'm big on just not really overthinking the whole holder thing. And my main thing when I get a new holder is just telling them, basically just get the ball down, and if anything, lean it to you and a little forward, and we'll work it out. But every holder that's come in has done a really good job at really practicing and kind of adapting to what I like to do.
Have you ever thought about kicking a Super Bowl winning field goal?
Of course. I think every kicker probably dreams of that moment. And shoot, I've seen Adam Vinatieri's numerous times for sure. I think it's the only Super Bowl to have like a walk-off field goal or like time expire on the field goal. And I think he had another one where there was like 6 seconds left, and then obviously Harrison Butker had his last year. So yeah, I think it's every kicker's dream to like hit a game winner, and definitely in Super Bowl.
Evan, has there been anyone or maybe more than one person that's been extremely instrumental in you getting to this point, getting this contract?
Yeah. I give a lot of credit to my family all the time. They're the reason I'm here. They kept me confident whenever I was down, and they kind of just kept me going. And my parents got me to all the kicking camps as in high school. And then obviously my wife all the way through. We started dating when I was 15. She was 13. And so she's been with me ever since I started kicking. And just grow with her and where we are now. And she's been really big in that. As coaches-wise, I've had a lot of great coaches throughout my career. Darren's a really good one. He's been good to me and helped me learn a lot. And then on the kicking side, Jamie Cole is my main kicking coach that I go see like in the off season. And so I credit a lot to him as well with technique side of stuff.
When you talked about the 68-yarder in July, I think you said live conditions. So snap as opposed to the tee thing.
Yep.
Rush, legitimately trying to block it, or
no rush. I think the op time was like 1:25, so it was realistic. No, it was So a bunch of NFL kickers, punters, long snappers, we all meet up in Gatlinburg with Jamie Cole once a year, and that's usually right before training camp starts up, and that's where that was. We were just competing in live operation, and so that 68-yarder was to win that certain competition.
What was the reaction like from everyone else when you got down? What was
You
the
said
reaction
the
like from
reaction? It was funny. They posted the video, I think, 2 days ago, and the one comment that you can hear is that's going on Twitter. And so, yeah, everybody was just, that was cool, exciting.
So in his intro, Zach said, you're going to get better.
Yeah.
How? What are your tangible goals for getting better?
I'm a firm believer in, like, kind of Zach said, like, I feel like I'm getting better with age and just experience, and you learn to not maybe overthink things and take things too seriously. And you're just out there, kicking a football like I have since I was 13 years old. Nothing's changed with that. I think for me, I always work on just consistent ball strikes, not over swinging. And like I've said, I think in the past couple of weeks, I'm working on field goal dispersion, trying to get all my kicks more to the center of the uprights rather than squeaking through.
Do you think kickers are remembered for their longest kicks or their biggest kicks?
I'd probably say biggest kicks because, right, I think like Adam Vinatieri, Morton Anderson, those two guys I feel like weren't necessarily the longest, but they're the most consistent. And I mean, with Justin, obviously he's the most consistent in NFL history. He just so happens to have the longest as well. So I think it's coming through in the clutch in those big moments is probably what you remember for the most.
What was Darren's reaction?
He was excited. He told me congrats. He was glad that it got done, and he's happy that I'm sticking around.
And in the past, controlling your heart rate is a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, and how did you start that process, and what do you do to get into that mode?
Yeah, I mean, that process, like, I think it was, my rookie year is whenever I did it, whenever I wore the Whoop band to really actually see what my heart rate was while I was kicking. And I got a feel for, I guess, my heart rate while I was wearing that. And so now I can feel it. I feel like whenever I can actually feel my heart beating, it's not a good thing. And so whenever that happens, I just kind of I think it's a military thing. It's like the breathing box where it's like you inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and then kind of repeat that same cycle. And it's supposed to help lower your heart rate. And so I kind of just do that. And for me, in those stressful situations, I'm just praying for peace of mind, clarity, and just going out there with a clear brain, clear mind, and just just executing.
Do you ever remember being nervous before a kick?
Yeah, I mean, should I still get nervous? I think that's just the whole range of emotions that go through you before a kick, before any kick. I think nerves is definitely one of those things, and that's what I said. I just kind of pray for peace and a clear mind. But yeah, I'd say nerves are definitely something that's normal, I feel like.
The military breathing technique, is that something, do you do that a lot in games, or is that something that is rare now that you need to use it, or you find yourself utilizing it before a lot of kids?
Yeah, I'd say it's every now and then. And it could even be whenever I'm just sitting on the sideline, the offense is out there, and heart's racing for whatever reason. I'm probably overthinking something, thinking too much. And yeah, I'll throw it out there and get the heart rate to slow down a little.
Where'd you find out about it? Did you read about that, or like someone told you?
Yeah, somebody told me about it. I watched a video and somebody was talking about it, and I was like, oh, I can't remember who told me about it, but I just remember somebody saying something. I was like, oh, I'll give it a try.
Remember any kick where you had to really go through that breathing process multiple times to get your heart rate and everything and get at peace? Did you remember any, not struggle, but you remember any time where it took a little while?
Not one that comes to mind. I mean, I have a specific breathing routine for every kick just to make sure that, and some people may not even think about it, but I breathe, I think it's 3 times before every kick. Once whenever I give the spot to the holder, another whenever I get to the back of my steps back, and then whenever I get to my steps over, that's when I take a look at the uprights, take a deep breath in, exhale, and then I go. And so I think that's big for kickers too, is just getting a breathing routine and just like slowing the heart rate down. I think it's the most important thing.
Did you ever stop breathing? I have.
Yeah. No, not yet.